I am back here with part 4 of chapter 5, Syllogism. Today we will learn Nyaya syllogism. We know that inference means a process in which the conclusion is drawn on the basis of the observed instances. If we see the dark clouds in the sky, we can infer that it will rain. And if we observe the flooded streets, we can infer that it has rained heavily on the streets. According to the Nyaya school of Indian philosophy, inference means anuman, which literally means knowledge after. It is defined as the cognition which presupposes some other cognition. It means the method by which knowledge is derived, that is mana, from another knowledge, that is anu. The knowledge gained is indirect but mediate knowledge. We have knowledge of an invariable relationship between two things. On that basis, while seeing one thing, we deduce the presence of the other thing. So, anuman is a logical process of gaining knowledge where sense organs are involved. Hence, the knowledge gained is called inferential knowledge or logical deduction. Let us see an example. There is a sign or mark perceived by the sense organs. Example, perception of floods. So, floods is the middle term, or as we call linga or hetu in Nyaya syllogism. But where do the floods occur, or what is its locus? The floods occur on the streets. So, streets is the subject term, or as we call paksha in Nyaya syllogism. Now, what is the conclusion drawn? The conclusion is that it has rained heavily on the streets. So, the inferred property is it has rained heavily, which is the predicate term, or as we call sadhya in Nyaya syllogism. On what basis is the conclusion drawn? The conclusion is drawn on the basis of the knowledge that we have. So, the question arises, what is the knowledge that we have? We know that whenever the streets are flooded, it has rained heavily. So, on the basis of this knowledge and our perception, that is flooded streets, we deduce the presence of the other thing. That is, it has rained heavily. In other words, we associate what is perceived with the inferred property, that is flooded streets, with it has rained heavily, and draw the conclusion that it has rained heavily on the streets. Thus, we gain the knowledge from the previous knowledge. The Nyaya school of Indian philosophy makes a distinction between the two types of inferences. First, inference for oneself, swartha. It is psychological, as it does not require any formal presentation of different propositions. Second, inference for others, parartha. It is a syllogism. In the Nyaya theory of perception, pratyaksha, Nyaya syllogism is explained. In Nyaya syllogism, there are 5 propositions or members, avyavas. It is demonstrating truth for others. The 5 propositions of Nyaya syllogism are: the first, the statement of the proposition to be proved, pratidnya. Second is the statement of reason, hetu. Third, the statement of universal proposition called vyapti, along with an example, udharan. Fourth, the statement of the presence of mark, or hetu and application of the rule or knowledge upanaya. Fifth, conclusion proved nigaman. Let us take a typical example of Nyaya syllogism. First, this hill has fire, pratijna. Second, because it has smoke, hetu. Third, wherever there is smoke, there is fire, vyapti, as in the kitchen, udharan. Fourth, this hill has smoke, which is invariably associated with fire, upanaya. Fifth, therefore this hill has fire, nigaman. These 5 propositions of the Nyaya syllogism can be reduced to 3 propositions, either by removing the first 2 propositions or the last 2 propositions. Yet, the conclusion can be drawn from them. This shows that 2 propositions in the Nyaya syllogism are not useful. When the Nyaya syllogism is reduced to 3 propositions by removing the first 2 propositions, then it will be similar to Aristotle's categorical syllogism, which is as follows. First, wherever there is smoke, there is fire, as in the kitchen, udharan. This will be the major premise. Second is, this hill has smoke, is invariably associated with fire, upanaya. This is minor premise. Third, therefore this hill has fire, nigaman. This is the conclusion. Here, the universal proposition, that is the major premise, is real induction based on the law of causation. The universal proposition is wherever there is smoke, there is fire. Means there is no smoke without fire. Hence, fire is the cause of smoke. Now let us understand the terms in this syllogism. The sign or the mark which is perceived is called linga or hetu. So smoke is the linga or hetu, and it lies in both the premises but not in the conclusion. The locus of the sign or the mark perceived is called paksha. So the hill is the paksha and it lies in the second premise, hence the second premise is called the minor premise. The inferred property is called the sadhya. So fire is the sadhya as it lies in the first premises. So the first premise is called major premise. And the conclusion is this hill has fire. The conclusion or the knowledge gained is deduced from vyapti, that is universal proposition, which states that wherever there is smoke, there is fire. It is an invariable relationship between the smoke and the fire, which is also seen in the kitchen. So the example of the kitchen is given, which is called udharan in Nyaya syllogism. Without vyapti, previous knowledge, no conclusion can be drawn or no new knowledge can be gained. So vyapti is important in Nyaya syllogism. Upanaya is where we associate the perceived thing, that is this hill has smoke, with the inferred quality, that is fire. So all the 3 terms, paksha, that is hill, sadhya, that is fire, and linga or hetu, that is smoke, occur in the same premise, that is in the 4th proposition in the upanaya. Thus, on the basis of vyapti, previous knowledge, that is wherever there is smoke, there is fire, and our perception, that is this hill has smoke, we deduce the presence of the other thing, that is the presence of fire on this hill, which is the conclusion or nigman. Now, when we remove the last 2 propositions from the 5 propositions of Nyaya syllogism, we get first, this hill has fire. Conclusion. Second, because it has smoke. Minor premise. Third, wherever there is smoke, there is fire, as in the kitchen. Major premise. Here, sadhya, that is fire, lies in the third proposition. So, the third proposition is called the major premise. Paksha, that is hill, lies in the second proposition. So, the second proposition is called the minor premise. And of course, the conclusion is this hill has fire, which is the first proposition. Now let us see the similarities between Aristotle's categorical syllogism and Nyaya syllogism. The first similarity is, though Nyaya syllogism developed before Aristotle's categorical syllogism, yet Nyaya syllogism is influenced by the Greek thoughts. There are similarities between the two syllogisms due to parallel development of thoughts. The second similarity is that both the categorical syllogism and the Nyaya syllogism have three terms, that is the subject term, which is called minor term in categorical syllogism and paksha in Nyaya syllogism. The predicate term, which is called major term in categorical syllogism and sadhya in Nyaya syllogism. And the middle term in the categorical syllogism is called linga or hetu in Nyaya syllogism. And the third similarity is, though Nyaya syllogism has 5 propositions, it can be reduced to 3 propositions by removing the first 2 propositions or the last 2 propositions. Yet one can derive the conclusion from them. When the first 2 propositions are removed, the Nyaya syllogism is similar to Aristotle's categorical syllogism. So both the syllogisms are fundamentally similar. Now the fourth similarity is that, in example, first, wherever there is smoke, there is fire, vyapti, as in the kitchen, udharan, this is the major premise. Second, this hill has smoke is invariably associated with fire, this is upanaya, minor premise. Third is, therefore this hill has fire, nigaman, that is conclusion. Now let us see the differences between categorical syllogism and Nyaya syllogism. First, Aristotle's categorical syllogism is only deductive and has formal validity. It is that method which passes from universal proposition to particular proposition, whereas in Nyaya syllogism, both the induction and deduction are inseparable, that is, it has both material and formal validity. It is the method which passes from particular proposition to particular proposition, not from universal proposition to particular proposition, or not from particular proposition to universal proposition. So the difference lies more in the form than essence. Second difference is that in categorical syllogism, the 3 terms, that is the major term, the minor term and the middle term, stand apart in the premises, though the middle term connects the major term and the minor term in the premises. That is, the major term occurs in the major premise, the minor term occurs in the minor premise, whereas the middle term occurs in both the premises, that is the major premise and the minor premise. Whereas in Nyaya syllogism, the 3 terms, that is paksha, hill, sadhya, fire, and linga or hetu, smoke, stand synthesized in the 4th proposition, upanaya. That means all the 3 terms are in the same premise. Third difference is that propositions in categorical syllogism are three, which are nothing more than absolutely necessary, and they constitute important part of the inference, whereas Nyaya syllogism constitute a fully reasoned out argument which has five propositions, where each proposition follows from the other proposition in natural sequence. Fourth difference is Aristotle's categorical syllogism is analytical and better fitted to test the validity of inference and in deriving conclusions, whereas Nyaya syllogism is expository, that is descriptive in nature, and rhetorical, that is persuasive, which influences the attitude of other people, and it is actually used in debates and discovering conclusions. Thank you.